Hi, today we're going to interview my friend Roman Danger. He's been playing with Resist and Exist for 10 years, almost over 10 years. Also, him and his friends, they do really amazing work. They do mutual aid work. We're going to get into that later on. And also, Roman is also involved playing with punk boy band called Heartside, and also a psychobilly band Uptown Cycles. He's been playing for since 2007. 2007.
Oh man.
And what's really cool about Roman, this is
you should definitely use this.
Okay, hold on.
This is fine. Save this one. That's
Okay,
totally cool.
We're gonna do a one take. Okay, no editing. Okay, and what's really cool about Roman is he's involved with like street punk scene, punk oi scene, psychobilly, anarcho punk scene, peace punk scene, and he also puts out shows, and he's involved with like every other group. Sometimes like certain scene stays in circle, but Roman, he just try to connect everyone together. But we're gonna start this interview. All right, Roman, thank you for being here.
All right, nice to see you. I'm glad I could spend time talking to you today.
You just had recently COVID-19 and stuff. Tell us about it. You were test positive, and what happened?
So I tested positive on, I want to say like the 31st or January 1st, basically the new year. And I immediately quarantined because, when I was at work during the week, I had noticed that I had like kind of like a dry cough, nothing really bad. It was all pretty manageable up until, I don't know, I'll say about 3 days in. I was at home and I was already quarantined at this point, but I started getting like a really bad like headaches, body aches, just basically just a lot of congestion and things like that. When I thought it was pretty similar to the flu, but as the days kind of progressed, it got worse and worse, and it just continued to get worse. When I was sick, I was dealing with it in waves. So it would be like one day I'd be totally fine, well, at least the beginning of the day, and then a couple hours later I would feel like I got hit by a truck. So that was how I dealt with it, and probably lasted, I want to say like 9 days. 9 days I tested again, and I tested negative. The strange things that I dealt with that I had never gotten in any other kind of sickness was the loss of smell, the loss of taste, and vertigo. Vertigo was terrible. The nausea was terrible. But yeah, managed, and I got past it, and I'm doing a lot better now.
Also, I saw on your posts, on your social media posts, a couple of your friends passed away and stuff. May they rest in peace. And you were saying that they passed away from COVID-19. What were their ages? I'm just curious.
Honestly, some of them, I mean, I'm 31, and one of the dudes that passed away, he was in his early 30s as well. One of them was a singer from a cool band, and it's a really big bummer because it was a loss in the community. But he was, I don't know. Sorry about that. There was a call that was coming through. Should I restart that?
Yeah. Take two.
So basically there was a lot of younger people that have been passing away. There's I have a friend that's in the hospital right now. He's about 31, 32, and he is in the ICU. A couple of friends that passed away are, their ages kind of range from, late 20s all the way to, late 40s. And it's probably been a handful, maybe about 5 people already that I know in close proximity.
Yes, may they rest in peace. Also, tell us about the I was looking at your flyer. On the flyer it says helping out the houseless community, but on the flyer it says One Step Mutual Aid, Snap Bloc LA, Cosmetic Plague Mutual Aid. Are these different groups?
Yeah, yeah, they're all different entities. So like, okay, so this was all kind of like a something I had been wanting to get into a lot. You know what I mean? Especially playing with Resist. You know, we would do shows, and I would see people kind of flyering out and doing things like this. And I mean, you would even pass out flyers and brochures and things like that. You know, I kind of always wanted to get active in the community. So what ended up happening is I met, you know, a collective of people, which is Cosmetic Mutual Aid, and they're really, really awesome. And what they kind of inspired was me to start off another, or not me, but you know, another group of friends to start another collective, which is One Step Mutual Aid. Um, Basically, we kind of just look out for, you know, our community, at least whoever is in need. Snack Bloc is another group that kind of comes out and helps. I don't know them very well, but you know, they come out and they help.
Okay. And what is a solidarity packs you guys passed out? What's a solidarity packs?
So what a solidarity pack is basically, it's a Ziploc bag that we fill out with, you know, essential needs, some things as far as like, you know, hand wipes, face masks. We also put in hot foods, snacks, whatever we can really, whatever necessities you can think of that we kind of take for granted. We put them inside those bags and we pass them out to people free of charge. They're free. So whoever looks like they need it, we give it to them.
When people watching guys on the video you posted online, giving out free food and stuff like that, or solidarity pack, how do you afford that? Or and also this is all volunteer and stuff. So how do you afford to get all these stuff?
So the thing is we're not an organization. We don't have like any means of support by anyone. You know, it's just a collective of people that want to do good things. So really, it's just a matter of us reaching out to our friends, our neighbors, and just being like, hey, you know, can you spare a couple dollars? Can you spare some old clothing you don't need anymore? What, you know, the community is actually more likely to help than you'd even think. You know, it takes, you know, just a spark to incite a flame. And once you ask a question, you know, you're like, hey, would you consider helping? People are more than likely they want to help. And that's been my experience so far. As far as donations and being able to afford things, you know, a lot of it comes out of our own pockets, but it's really nothing, you know, it doesn't take a lot to go very far. And especially in the punk community and a lot of the friends that we have, you know, we have a lot of support, and it helps like so much when people repost our flyers or whatever, our Venmos and things like that. So we use that money towards foodstuffs and hygiene products.
Also on the flyer it says Orange, OC, LA, and Long Beach. Does it mean the group drives around, or is it different chapters in that area?
So like I said, the collective is a bunch of like-minded people, but we're all kind of in different, I'm in Moreno Valley, so we're all in different areas. So I travel from here and I'll go all the way to Santa Ana, sometimes to Los Angeles. The first time I ever did it with them, they had gathered in Santa Ana, and what ended up happening is basically they just kind of had a headquarters, and they used that headquarters as a space to put together the solidarity packs, hot meals and blankets and things like that. And what would happen is we would just find people that had time to drive around, and they would drive around to different parts of the city, whether it was Long Beach, downtown Los Angeles, Wilmington. They just made the time and, you know, took the efforts to go drop these things off. So it's not like a chapter in the sense that like we only do Orange County, we only do Los Angeles. It's all neighborhoods. It's all the places that we are capable of helping. This past one we did was at Father Sarah Park, and we basically just set up in the park, and we set up trolleys or little carts, you know what I mean, little wagon carts, and we fill up those carts and we just walk up and down that area and just hand everything out.
That's really great. You're doing all this work, but just curiosity, how come you didn't just call it Fruit Not Bombs and connect with other Fruit Not Bombs? Just why did you the group decided to have their own name? Just curious.
I honestly, I couldn't speak for Cosmetic Plague, but I mean, I don't even know. I've never even considered it. It was just something you know, let's just start our own mutual aid and just do it.
Okay, that's cool. Hey, so you moved out of Los Angeles?
Yeah,
Wow. All right,
definitely.
that's really cool. All the punks are doing this. So, what was the punk scene like in LA before COVID-19?
It was thriving. I think it was thriving. I don't know. There was a lot of cool spots. There's people like Nacho, Abraham, like basically like Road to Ruins and Nacho we would all do shows together. And it was going really well for a really long time. And then, you know, just kind of just hit us from left field and it all came to a screeching halt. So right now is just kind of a weird time for music.
Right. And a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of punks from Los Angeles comes from really tough neighbor, which I'm not going to get too much into. How did the punk scene get into that in that tough neighbor?
Uh, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of strange. It was like, when I look back at how I kind of grew up into it, like my family's all, you know, you know, kind of gang banged out. And, there was always that one cousin that had a Misfit CD or Dead Kennedy CD. And they're like, hey, why don't you take a listen to this? And that is pretty much what happened to me. I had older cousins that were into that gangbanger lifestyle, but they were like, you know what, hey, Roman, take a listen to the CD, see how you like it. And you know what, I never turned back.
Right.
And it's kind of like that with everywhere. You can go to East Los Angeles, South Central. It's like kind of the same story for everyone. You're kind of just that rocker fool.
How is it before C19 when you were traveling or playing shows and stuff, like visiting Northern California, checking out the punk community, or going to Olympia and stuff in the punk community? How do you see the difference and stuff like that?
It's vastly different. It's just a different kind of community. I'll say that like when we would go to like Northern California or Olympia, I feel like it was people were more, I don't know, I guess closer to the activist side of punk rock. You know what I mean? Where I feel like Los Angeles, though it is political in a sense, I would say that it's more of like a crazy scene. Punks are kind of just wild out here.
Mhm.
Um, as far as how it was before COVID-19, over here, it's just like there's gigs everywhere. You can drive within a 10-mile radius and there's probably 3 to 4 shows you can run into, where I feel like it's kind of scarce in those communities, like anywhere other than Southern California.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's probably why the communities in those scenes are tighter knit, and they're I don't know, the things that they're moving forward to are collective as opposed to Los Angeles. So I feel like Los Angeles, everyone's kind of in their own bubble, their own little social network, their own, I don't know, they all have their own kind of plans. So right now it would be really nice to get everyone back together. You know, that's why I'm kind of pushing this one step thing, cosmetic plague stuff, because I want to get punk rock involved in those kinds of things, because I feel like that's so important. And I feel like that was the whole point of doing punk rock. That's what has really charged me and my group of friends to do this.
Since with all this thing with COVID-19 and the Trump era, this and that, when C19 mellows out, which I don't even know when, but when C19 mellows out, do you think the LA punk community will be more conscious, or what kind of change would you like to see in the Southern California punk community?
Well, yeah, I definitely want it to be more conscious, be more aware and considerate of the people around you. I definitely think that through COVID-19, we've kind of all learned stuff. We've learned that people are more valuable than we, even understand. And um, wanting to help those in need is something that you know, I had always thought about, but especially during COVID-19, to really realize, things are hard for people. This is something that I want to inspire the scene. You know what I mean? I want it to come together, hopefully in a healthy, safe way, we can start doing shows again. But I would love to do punk shows where we incorporate mutual aid or, um, just more donations, things like that. You know what I mean? Just things to help the community or surrounding communities, educate the younger punks that are coming into the scene and not just treat it as a party.
Cool, thanks.